gonna get myself some oat milk real quick. This is empty. So anyways, what's up guys? My name is Chris. I'm here today to tell you why you should not set New Year's resolutions. That's right, you heard me. Do not set resolutions this year. Not at all. I'm really excited to talk about a subject that we are being bombarded with. We're seeing emails, blog posts, YouTube videos, all about, you guessed it, New Year's resolutions. Every year it's the same story. We start out with good intentions, ready to change ourselves, change our life, but then slowly we let these resolutions fizzle out. And by mid-February, studies show that about 80% of people already forget about their resolution. So the real question is, how do you stay consistent with your resolutions rather than letting them fizzle out? The secret to setting resolutions that really stick, resolutions that you follow through on, resolutions that you can actually make notable progress rather than forgetting about it just a couple months later, is not to set resolutions. Not at all. Instead of setting resolutions, set goals. I know, they're basically synonymous. So why set goals rather than resolutions? Well, goals are a lot more specific than resolutions. A lot of times people will set a resolution for themselves. I want to be healthier. I want to get in shape. But those are so vague, those are so broad, that it's hard for people to actually stick to them. But if you set yourself a specific goal, I want to do 10 push-ups each day. It's specific, it's easily trackable, and the great thing is that it's very easy to accomplish. So you're more likely to actually do it, check it off your list, cross it off your to-do list, and feel a sense of accomplishment that pulled you through to the next day. Setting goals for yourself rather than resolutions is also really important because goals are much more actionable. You can much more easily take steps towards these goals. But when you set a specific goal, 10 push-ups a day, even if you do 5 push-ups, you're still halfway there towards your goal. It's very actionable, and that action will guide you and give you motivation to continue towards these resolutions. If you're not specific with your goals, if you don't have measurable, actionable steps that you could take, it's very easy to give yourself a little bit of slack, right? And then we give ourselves a little bit more slack. But this is the progression that ends up getting people off of their goals, off of their growth. Because when we give ourselves a little bit of slack, and a little bit more slack, and a little bit more slack, well, eventually, usually by mid-February, those resolutions are nowhere to be seen. I do this, friends do this, family does this, and we've all done it. A study done actually confirms this, showing that less than 10% of people who start a resolution actually stick with that resolution for more than a few months. Less than 10%. So don't feel guilty or upset that you can't stick to your resolutions, but instead, just don't set them. Set yourself goals to make sure that these goals stick and actually leave lasting change in your life. Make sure that your goals are reasonable and they're doable. Too often we set lofty expectations. We want to be a marathon runner, or we want to be able to be productive and study hard and make sure that we're a great student this year, or whatever it may be. We set these unachievable, unrealistic expectations for ourselves, and then we wonder why we fail at our resolutions. We wonder why we can't achieve them. Instead of telling yourself that your resolution is to become a marathon runner, start by doing a 30-minute jog a couple times a week. This all boils down to something called false hope syndrome. And what false hope syndrome is, it's unrealistic expectations about the speed that we're gonna make change, about the way that we're gonna shift our behaviors, and the amount of drastic improvement we're gonna see. Change takes consistency. Change isn't about big maximum efforts to make drastic change. No, it's about small steps. It's about small, consistent steps over time that really make and implement lasting change. Second glass. I am so in love with oat milk. I love oat milk so much. The next way that you can make sure that your resolutions stick this year rather than fizzling out is to tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. See, sharing your goals and telling others about what you're doing in a humble way helps you stay accountable. and something that you're excited about. Don't hesitate to tell people in your life about it. You might be surprised by how open-armed and welcoming and supportive they actually are. Plus, it gives you an extra reason to stay consistent. And along that same vein, if you have a goal that you could do with someone else, because when you're with others, there's something called social facilitation. And what social facilitation basically means is something that you are good at. When you're with others, you're better at it. They help push you in the positive direction. So don't hesitate to bring people along with you on your journey. The next way to make sure that your resolutions/goals actually stick this year is to make them fun, or at least attach them to something fun. If you have a goal for yourself to do something that you really dislike, link it with something else that brings you joy. Let's just say every time you go to the gym, you reward yourself by coming home and making a smoothie. You're combining something that's not so fun with something that you enjoy. It's linking two things together to make it more likely that you actually do it. Other ways to do this, let's say you can't think of something that you do enjoy that you want to link to a habit, try to turn that goal into something that's fun in itself. You see, when we have goals that we enjoy, when they're fun, we're likely to stick to them. And that's just science. Over and over, it's been found that when there's things that we enjoy, that in itself is enough motivation to keep us going. Make sure you're enjoying your goal, or find a way to link your goal to something that you do enjoy. And on that topic, it's important that when you're making these goals for yourself, things that you want to change and improve in your life, make sure you're not forgetting about the other things in your life that bring you happiness, that bring you fulfillment. So cultivate hobbies. Whether you like to go surfing, or to cook, or you go to the beach, or just anything that brings you value, that add to who you are beyond just your goals and your work and your education. And it just makes you overall happier and helps you stick to your goals. The next way to make sure that your goals stick this year, just go ahead and demolish that like button, because 2020 is going to be your year of lasting change. Moving right along on the same notion of keeping your goals fun, making sure that they're attainable, you want to make sure that they're not feeling too homeworky, right? Hanging over your head, weight on your shoulders, something that you just haven't gotten to but you need to get to. Again, this feeling will only lead to not sticking to your goals. So finding a way to keep your goals fun and attainable will make all the difference. And honestly, even 10 minutes of your goal every single day. Let's just say 10 minutes of exercise, right? You want to be healthier, you want to exercise more. You decide every day you're going to do at least 10 minutes of push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, whatever. Those 10 minutes will be more of a change in your life than if you did nothing. So make sure your goals are attainable and they're not too homeworky. And I know we've talked a lot about how important consistency is. We've talked a lot about how to keep your goals attainable so you can do them every day. But don't forget to make margin for yourself. It's okay to cut yourself some slack. I know that that's a slippery slope, and you cut yourself a little bit of slack, you're worried that you're not going to stick with your goals at all. But that's a bit of a logical fallacy. It's actually the slippery slope logical fallacy. Because the thing is, even though yes, giving yourself some slack, skipping a few days of your goal, it's dangerous territory, because when you don't stay consistent, it's much easier to continue to not stay consistent, right? Objects in motion stay in motion, and objects at rest stay at rest. The basic law of inertia. But the thing is that giving yourself some margin and listening to your body, that's really important. That's hugely important. I made a goal for myself in December to run every single day, because I want to start running. And I'm also doing a sweat coin challenge, so make sure to stay tuned so you can see that really cool video coming soon. But I hurt myself. I fell on my skateboard and my knee hurts, so I can't run as much, and I've had to take some time to recover. And the important thing to remember in this situation is just an example. I have to understand it's okay to give myself some margin. And it's gonna help you to not feel so bad about yourself when you mess up a little bit for your goal, or you don't stick to your resolution 100%, because we're all human and we're all doing our best. So to recap, make attainable, actionable goals that you could take measurable steps towards. Goals that you could stick with every day or every week because they're attainable and they're not too lofty. See, the magic is in the consistency. Remember, don't bite off more than you can chew. Take it slow, because you can always build over time. Just make sure you're setting goals for yourself, specific enough that you know you'll be more likely to stay consistent. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell because I post new videos every single Friday all about lifestyle design and how you can build a healthy lifestyle while living on a budget while still juggling all of life's responsibilities that we have as a young adult. So thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys soon.